Okay, hello everyone. First of all, sorry to be sitting a little bit, but I was also working here all night, making sure the art was there exhibited. So I just slept 2 hours, just taking now the chance also to rest a bit. But anyway, my name is Magusz, and I'm here to talk about NFTs 2.0. So if you can change the slide, please. Perfect. So who am I? As I said, my name is Magusz. I'm mainly an artist, but I also work as an artist advocate for RMRK, which is a company that developed these standards of NFTs 2.0. And I also work as a curator. I work as a curator for NFT Talent, also for Non-Fungible Conference, and now I was also working with preparing the art installations. So I wear many hats, but every time related with art. And I came here today to talk mainly about my role as an artist advocate, which for me, it was surprising when I was invited because it's quite an uncommon role to be artist advocate of an NFT marketplace because there's not much support with artists, so I was really pleasant when this invite came. So what are NFTs? NFTs usually are just JPEGs, as we say. And what does it mean? Well, it means that basically it's just a single file. But this is NFTs from the past. We are now moving on to NFTs 2.0, so we are going to get rid of the single file. On RMRK, we developed several standards. One of them is called multi-asset. So what is a multi-asset NFT? It's an NFT that contains multiple files. You can have as many files as you want, and you can have any kind of files, JPEG, video, audio, PDF. And what's the use case of that? Well, for example, for me as an artist, I can make, for example, 2 different versions of the same art. I can make one that it's day, and I can make one that it's night. And they are both the same files inside the same NFT. So the collector will get both of them. They are not both NFTs, it's just one NFT with multiple files. Another use case, for example, again as an artist, because the artists are evolving all the time and developing their skills. So imagine that I make this drawing 3 years ago, but now my skills are different. So I pick up again the painting I did, and I improve it, or make it now my own style as it used to be. And I can create that, and I can create this new asset and send to the collector that collected the first NFT. And I can keep adding assets as long as I want. And the collector, of course, needs to approve. That's the thing that happens with multi-assets. But it's one of the ways to really keep adding more stuff to NFTs without having any problem or trying to understand which is the wallet or trying to figure out how to communicate with the collector. You just send the multi-asset, and then if he likes it, he just accepts it. Another use case, it's, for example, imagine in games that you create something that it's 2D, like this kind of robot, for example, for a game. And then later on, you get some funding and you develop the game further, and then your game becomes 3D. So what you do, you just add another 3D asset to your NFT. So you don't need to create new NFTs for the new game. No, it's the same, and you just evolve. So you can even have both versions of the game. You can have a game that is 2D for mobile, for example, and another that is 3D. And both assets in the same NFT will work in each game, depending on what is the use. Another great example is, for example, a book. So if you have a book that is an NFT, you can have inside a PDF, which is the book that will open, for example, in a Kindle or in Adobe Reader, so you can read the book. You can have an audio file, for example, somebody narrating the book. So if you open Spotify, for example, then it's the audio file that will open. And you can even have, for example, illustrations. So art that also comes with the book. So in this way, a single book, a single NFT can have 3 different files that can be opened also in different platforms, depending what happens. So if it's a Kindle, it will open the PDF for sure. So this is just one example of one of the standards. Another one, it's Nestable NFTs. So while the first, we have multiple files in the same NFT, in this one, we can have NFTs inside NFTs. So basically, it's the ability to send one NFT to another. What's this for? So imagine that, for example, you have a land, and then you buy a house, and you buy another house, and these houses are inside your NFT, which is the land. But the houses itself, they are also NFTs. And exactly like multi-assets, you can also send them to another NFT, and the owner of the NFT can approve it or not, depending also to avoid spam in this case. The Nestable ones generate another standard and are complementary with another standard. That's why we also say that we call this NFTs 2.0 building like Legos, because each NFT can be combined with different ones. So for example, the Nestable and multi-asset can be combined with the composable. And in this case, the difference is that you can equip the NFTs. So for example, you equip the house, and then it appears on the main NFT, which is the land. Or you have also another NFT that it's a crystal, and you can equip it and appear also on your land. So basically, you can change the main NFT. You can change as much as you want, as long as you are equipping and buying new items to add to your collection. Another great example is for PFPs. So imagine that, for example, you have this droid, and you have other collections that you bought with different parts of the droid. So you can change the arms, you equip the arms, you can buy a helmet and then equip also the helmet, or you can buy a new chest and also equip it, or even a background. So this brings also a much bigger opportunity with NFTs, especially with PFPs, because it's really unlimited. Anybody can create a collection and make that this collection is compatible with NFTs that you have. So imagine that the good thing is also that we can go back to ERC71, so the normal NFTs can actually become also composable. So imagine that suddenly Bored Apes starts also developing other NFTs that are going to be composable, that are going to be equipable. It will bring added value also to this collection already. Another great example is with music. So imagine that the main NFT, it's a music file, but then each NFT, it's a different part of the music. So you can have one track that it's the voice, you can have another track that it's the drums, you can have another track that it's the guitar. So imagine different artists, for example, composing just tracks, and then the collector can buy them and equip them together to create his own music. And again, it's only about imagination, the limit. As I was saying, the good thing is also that it's cross-collection compatible. So, picking again this example of the droid, we have this droid and we have the helmet, as we saw also before, but suddenly somebody else creates another collection with hedgehogs. And he also wants to use this helmet, and he can, because why not? So, in this case, if the helmet is rare, let's say there's only 5 helmets and a collection of 10,000 droids. So there's 5 helmets for 10,000 droids, which is already rare. But then suddenly, there's another collection of 10,000 hedgehogs. And they still just 5 helmets. So now there's only 5 helmets for 20,000 PFPs. And if more collections will come, then this item becomes rarer and rarer. And other people can also create other NFTs and keep adding also to these. And you can really customize your NFT as you want. This is the true breakthrough, because now you're going to be able not to have a PFP that is random generated, but you create your own as you want. You buy exactly the things you want and you equip them as you want. It becomes your identity. Another standard, we already saw 3, so multi-asset, nestable, and composable or equipable NFTs. Another one that RMRK developed is called emote NFTs. So basically, NFTs that can react with emojis. So if, like we are also used to use it all the time on Twitter, we put the art, or when we send message, we use a lot of emojis. So you can do the same with NFTs. And it can be programmable in a way that, imagine Mona Lisa, and then you program it that if you have, for example, 20 smiles, so if people react with 20 smiles to your NFT, it changes. It will make a bigger smile. And this is just one example. You can imagine a landscape that if people react with rain, then suddenly on the landscape is raining. And the artists can program this as they want. And there's multiple cases also for this, but the idea is also to bring another layer of interactivity to NFTs, to not be just collecting, but really also to be able to interact with them and to change them just by reacting. So you don't need to buy it or you don't need to have this collection, you can just be a participant by reacting to it. Another great example for art, again because I'm also an artist. So imagine that I have a piece of art, an artwork, and then suddenly I have the reaction from Vitalik. Suddenly Vitalik likes my art. How this is going to contribute to my reputation as an artist and how this is going to contribute to my reputation of this piece of art. And the good thing is that the emojis are all on chain, so everything is traceable and you can see actually who reacted and when. So there's always the history. And for another example of this, suddenly Christie's or Sotheby's also say like to my art. Again, the reputation as an artist and my artwork will be elevated thanks to these interactions. Last but not least, we're going to talk also about soul-bound NFTs, 2.0 we call it. Vitalik coined this term, soul-bound, which basically means it's an NFT that cannot be transferable. So it happened that it was, initially it was created to be attached to a wallet. So once you send an NFT to this wallet, you cannot transfer, you cannot sell it, it's bonded to you. This is very practical, for example, if we want to develop further the digital identity and to have something that represents us. In the future, maybe even documents, you know, our license or ID, whatever we want, it can be a soul bond to our wallet. But we say it's 2.0 because they can also be inside another NFT. So picking again the example as an artist, if I have an artwork that then suddenly got an award, and this award is an NFT, I can send it to my artwork, and it's soul bonded. So every time I will sell my artwork, this other NFT, which is the reward, will go with it. You cannot take it out. So it was going to stay forever. So even if more people will be collecting, it's going to stay there always, also again elevating the reputation as an artist. And if I want more awards, more NFTs, I can still send them and keep sending as many as we want. There's no limit for the number of NFTs that can be inside another one and also for being soul-bound. Another great example of soul-bound for games especially is if you have a character and your character is developing in the game and then suddenly you gain some skills. So the skills should be soul-bound because it's not something that you should sell. It's something that belongs to your avatar, to your gamer, you know. So if you are a gamer and then later you want to sell your avatar, you can, but the skills are already there and go with him. So it's a soul bond. And another great example that we are also developing on RMRK, it's what we call reputational avatars. So it's a little bit of mix of this that I was talking before. So we can create one NFT that becomes our identity, so an avatar, a PFP, whatever we want, and then we can add soul bonds NFTs to it. So, for example, friends invited. Imagine that you are in Discord community, and then you have this PFP that represents you as a digital identity, and you invite X number of people to this Discord. You gain this reward, and then since it's an NFT, it goes to your digital identity, and again, everybody can see your reputation there. So it will bring you a higher reputation on this specific community. Or the amount of time that you spend online, for example. Or spending spree. So if you are a collector and then suddenly you spend 100 Ethereum in buying art, you can gain some soul bond. And this can be done by any community. They can decide to create their own soul bond NFTs and reward the people that are active in their community with any NFT they want and to be attached to it. So it's not transferable, it's not sellable, it's going to be there forever, really raising your reputation. And as I said, because they are all like Legos, we can put them all together. Even with your digital identity, somebody can also react to it. So imagine that, for example, a founder of a project that you are involved with suddenly reacts to your digital identity and makes a like or a heart or say fire. Or it really also boosts your reputation and your confidence also and motivation. There was an interesting use case that we did it. We created this, first we launched on Kusama chain, which is part of Polkadot. And Polkadot acts like a DAO. And the people that are voting on a DAO, it's very little always. Very few people actually are active on a DAO. And then we implemented this kind of thing. We implemented the reputation avatars as a gamified experience. In that moment, 50% of the people active increased. So just by using this, without any other rewards, just by gamifying a little bit with reputation avatars and soulbound NFTs and reacting. So this was a great use case that proved that, yeah. Another thing that we already tried with Remark, we launched a collection in the beginning to try all these standards that we developed, again on Kusama network in the beginning. So they were called canarias. We did this connection of canarias with our birds, and as you see, for example, here it's multi-asset. So you have 2 different birds inside the same NFT, and you can choose which one you want to show off. The main one is this from the left, but then you can also get rewards like a different, more detailed, different quality. Again, showing also the Canary, all the equippable ones. Some of them are soulbound. So for example, these gems are soulbound, and you can still equip them. So you can still see on the Canary that they are there, and they are part of it. But the other ones are also sellable and transferable. So these are the 5 standards that I talked today. Multi-asset, nestable, composable, emote repository, so that it reacts to emotions, and soulbound 2.0. There's a small mistake here. The last one, soulbound 2.0, it's not IAP anymore, it's also ERC. And the only one that is IP, it's emote repository, but it's already on the final call. So these are Ethereum standards that anybody also can use and apply to them. But we use it on Singular App, which is our NFT marketplace. We launched it now on EVM chains with Moonbeam, and we're going to add Polygon, Ethereum, Arbitrum, ZK Sync, everything, and we're going to keep using these NFTs. The idea of Singular is that you're going to be able to create, mint, sell, transfer NFTs with all these standards without need for code. So we launched already, you can already create multi-asset, nestable and soulbound NFTs directly on the website without needing for code and playing around with it. So if you want to actually try it, feel free also to reach out. We have some sponsorship that we can give to artists to at least cover the minting fees to try it on Moonbeam. Thank you so much. So there's still 1 minute for questions. Somebody has questions? Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the 6551 standard in terms of the avatars as well? Because was it Stapleverse that has done that? Jeff Staples' pigeons have done that recently as well.
He founded CryptoKitties. Yeah. He founded CryptoKitties, and there was a big battle actually because they were trying to not approve our standard because they said it was very similar, but it's not. There are quite some differences, and actually there's a tweet that compares them, and we always say, why not to use both? You know, it's okay to have more standards. The idea is that we say that we like in Singular that we were creating tools to unleash creativity. So if other people are also doing the same, great. The more tools we have, the more imagination, more creativity, better for everybody. So there are some differences, but yeah, they can be also compatible. Any other question? Good. Anyway, you can always approach me after and feel free to question me. Thank you so much, everything.